Hello guys, welcome to my S Reacts. For today's reaction, this will be part 1 of my reactions to Rewatch Do Young Royals Season 1 Episode 4. So we left off in the last episode when we find out that Eric has died. Just about as when Wilhelm was going to go and spend the weekend with Simon at his house. You had like probably leaking in the press before he even knew, and you had like everyone talking about it, like should we tell him, like, and then he got called to see the principal, and then his mum was on the phone and she broke the news about Eric's death. So if you do enjoy this reaction slash rewatch, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and part 2 will be linked down below, so you go check it out after this. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this reaction, so let's go.
Vänta, man måste verkligen gå.
Ja, men jag måste gå nu.
Varför då?
Men Wilhelm släpp, jag måste tillbaka till slottet. Varför?
Nej.
Because this scene always broke me, because it's the way like he's just like completely alone, and then he's just like thinking about like everything, maybe like the last things they said to each other, maybe things that he didn't get to say to Eric before like he died. I'm pretty sure the last time they saw each other was when Wilhelm got dropped off at Hilishka, so it's kind of like they haven't seen each other. Obviously they talked on the phone and that, but like physically being with each other, like, and then all of a sudden your brother's now dead.
Vi ses ju snart.
I free my eyes at the start of time. All the witchy kind.
When I first saw that, I was like, he's not replying to his message, but then it kind of also does kind of make sense as to why he hasn't like responded. You know, he's grieving for his brother, and not only that, like there's a lot that's going to happen, like he's going to become the crown prince, and all this like other stuff that's going on, and it's probably like a lot to like go through and process. So it's kind of, as much as like it could like just reply to us, because it's kind of like, you know what, he's grieving, so it's kind of understandable as to why he hasn't. But then I was like, oh, Simon, like he's obviously gonna be freaking out, worried about him. But then it's like, I get it.
Jag tänkte att det kan vara bra för Wilhelm att komma tillbaka till Hillerska. Du känner dig trygg.
Ända sedan jag var nyfödd så visste jag att jag skulle ärva kronan av pappa. Men jag hade ju tid att förbereda mig. Det hade ju Erik också. Men nu är det du och dina framtida barn som kommer att efterträda mig. Det är viktigt att du
It's kind of, it's like he's just like lost his brother, and it's like he's now been like thrown into being a crown prince. He's got to do all these things, and like now he's the one that's gonna have to become king. He's the one that's gonna have to deal with the pressures that Eric did, and it's like you don't get time to like grieve, you know, privately or like even really at all. It's kind of like you've got to breathe. You've got to grieve in front of like the whole country, and like your life is like not private, and it's just kind of saying it's like now he's immediately the crown prince. Now he's gonna have to become king. Now like there's no preparation whatsoever. Like he's just thrown into it, and you don't get that time to process your loss, process the grief that you have. Immediately it's the royal family. Immediately it's like gotta get things back to normal, and it just sucks, honestly.
Jag förstår att du är en förebild nu. Inga fler misstag, Wilhelm. Och du kommer att bli jämförd med Erik varenda steg du tar.
Blir jag ju redan.
So like when he said that, I was like, but that's true. Like before, he was always compared to Eric, like whatever he did, and it's like no, not now. Like I always like I already am that, so it's like nothing new. And I was like, oh my god, like it's just so heartbreaking because like they're literally two different people. Like you shouldn't compare them. And it's so frustrating the fact that he's already like felt that way probably his entire life, and now it's like he's still got to live up to the expectation of Eric, even though he's no longer here. And I feel like those kind of expectations are just impossible to uphold. Like,
Jag har alltid blivit.
Kronprins Wilhelms tid har det senaste året präglats av slagsmålsskandalen som ledde till hans flytt till Himmelska. Vid 18 års ålder
Stackars pojkar.
Kan ni snälla byta kanal?
Faktura från Himmelska. En påminnelse för 5 500 kronor, va? Vad heter?
Jag tog privatlektioner.
Varför?
För att jag fick se på matteprovet. De har lättare att höja betygen om man betalar privatlektioner för att anses vara som extra tid.
¿Cómo pensaste tú que íbamos a pagar esto?
Förstå.
I was like, oh no. And that's not the way that you'd want to find out, but it's kind of like it kind of needed to do it, but then it's like it's just like a little bit. It's like you got to pay 5,500 crowns. Like that's a lot. And if August, you know, wasn't broke, if August, you know, was able to pay, then his mum probably would have never found out about the whole extra treatment as well.
Jag hade tänkt betala det. Det är lugnt.
Hur? ¿Cómo, Simón?
Ville kommer tillbaka. Okej. Drottningen har bett mig personligen att ta hand om honom. Wilhelm behöver sina bröder nu. Samla sällskapet.
You know, Eric just died. And you're acting like all happy and giddy the fact that you're the one the Queen has asked to look after him. And also the fact that what happens, what he does, like we all know. After everything, after like, you know, it's just like not funny as in like it's like funny, but it's just like funny looking back to see like how he was acting about, oh, I get to look after, like I got to look after him, and it's like you just want him like your little club, society, whatever you want to call it, because he was in the royal family. And I've always found August to be like very desperate. I always found his part a little like, I understand the sentiment of it, but I understand that he like now he has like his duties and whatever, and like being a crown prince. But it's just the fact that like it probably hasn't even been that long since he literally found out his brother died, and then like he's thrown into basically, I mean it's obviously not the whole school, but school, and like he has to sit there and whatnot and deal with like this when probably all he actually wants to do is go to his room and like be alone. And I just found it so like heartbreaking, the fact that he has to like hide, I guess, how he's like truly feeling, because he can't show it. Like his mom says no more mistakes, that probably means no more Simon, and like we see that. But yeah, that's why I found it hard with this scene. the way like August was like, Felice, like, that's enough now. I was like, she literally just comforting her friend, like, okay, that's all that was. And Felice was like, I don't blame her, to be honest, because that was just unnecessary. But this been like the first time that like seen each other since that time.
So you say all you wanna be is remember. Let me make you go down in history, baby. Let me write you. You just wanna be remembered. You just wanna be remembered. So send me a word that no one's heard.
I just want to say, I always have to say this every time I hear like Omar sings, because it's like the voice of an angel. You can see how hard it is for Wilhelm as well, because dealing with his newfound feelings for Simon, and then losing your brother, the grief on top of like that whole situation, you can understand how difficult it would be to navigate that. But yeah, just every time Simon sings, like, you know, I'm just like, it's just, even in that scene, like, it's obviously a sad scene, but like, it's just his voice. I'm like, oh my god, sing more.
Först och främst så vill jag tacka för den vackra körsången. Jag vill också tacka för det varma deltagande som ni har visat mig i denna svåra stund. Det känns sjukt att det är jag som är kvar. Och inte han. Han var min förebild. Och jag tänker följa hans fotspår. Och bli en kronprins som min familj kan vara stolt över.
And no, because that literally means like he's gonna ignore his feelings for Simon and then be like, because the whole situation has happened, it's like, now it's my duty to be the crown prince. Now it's my duty to live up to what Eric was meant to and make his family proud. And that also means that those feelings, if it was Simon, it's like kind of push them away, have to push Simon away. And this scene, though, I feel so bad for Simon though, especially in this scene. Like, I understand like where Wilhelm's coming from and like why he does what he does, but then it was like just seeing how heartbroken Simon looked, like I couldn't.
Hej. Hej. Hur mår du? Det är okej. Fick du mina sms?
Jag hade tänkt svara. Men
Det är lugnt. Ja, jag förstår.
jag vill att du raderar våra sms.
Va?
Jag kan inte hålla på med det här längre.
It's that, like I said before, I understand why Wilhelm did it, but then it's just to see how like heartbroken Simon is, and all he wanted to do was try and be there for him and whatnot, and it's like everything's just like done. Obviously it's not done, but at the time it was kind of like, it was just really, really hard to watch. And Simon, every time he just looks so sad, I just want to hug him. At this point I thought, yep, it's only a matter of time before Sarah realises that Simon's been in touch with their dad again, and that was going to be a hard conversation to have, considering he was probably the one that said we weren't going to see him anymore. She didn't want to see him, so they both decided they weren't going to see him. But then Simon's gone kind of behind Sarah's back in that sense, even though technically the only reason he was doing it was because of the drugs, the money. Other than, like, if that wasn't needed, then there would have been no contact at all. But, you know. And he just really needed that hug.
Lova att ni säger till om det finns något jag kan göra.
Tack, rektor.
No, because as soon as he deletes Simon's number, at that time, like, it was like, no. But then you could, at that time, well, at the time he needed to do that. But then obviously we get into this episode, and like a bit further on, we have one of my favourite scenes, which is the football scene, right? And it's just that's just scene, which we'll be getting to, but it's just that scene, like, he remembers Simon's phone number. I wasn't like, did he remember a phone number, or was it like in his like recent calls? Because if not, and I assumed like he remembered his number, but then like maybe it was because he was in his calls. I don't know. But then he was like, hi. So I don't know.
Snälla! Jag kan bara få en sekund bara för mig själv, snälla.
Ja, jag är hemskt ledsen.
And even this, it was kind of like all of a sudden he's having to be followed. I get like the Crown Prince has to have like security and whatnot, but then it's like he has like literally no time to be alone, and like no privacy, and like they have to follow him because that's their job. But then it's kind of like his realization of like, oh my god, this is my life now. Like I'm the Crown Prince, I'm gonna be king, I'm, you know, all this stuff, on top of the fact that he's still grieving.
Hej, vad gör ni?
Ja, en ritualgrej. En reningsritual som hon tvingar mig över på. Ja.
Okej.
Men du, det där på föräldralunchen. Alltså, jag vet inte riktigt vad jag tänkte. Alltså,
Det är ingen fara. Vi glömmer det.
Okej, bra.
Här. Så, slipper du frysa.
Please,
Tack.
we have to finish the ritual.
Förlåt, det var mitt fel.
Ska du med eller?
Ja, jo, varför inte?
Okej.
Om jag får såklart.
Yeah, come on.
Cool.
Like, it's good for him to do something normal with friends, but I was thinking the rituals are not like normal, but then at least he can have something like to take his mind off everything and, you know, be involved.
Jävla ful.
Now I'm kind of jumping ahead a bit. Sorry, it's been a while since I've like watched this season. Right, he takes more drugs, and then like he forces August to sell them because he wants his money. You can't blame him for that. And then when he goes back, that's when his dad grabs him. Was it this episode or was it the next episode? I can't actually remember what episode it was. I can't remember. But yeah. And obviously Simon's desperate because he's got to pay back the invoice from Hirschka and everything. So he just takes more drugs. And the fact that I'm assuming because his dad, you know, was passed out and like snoring his head off, that sort of made him, you know what, made him more angry. And you know, that, you know, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take everything.
Sug inte fort, jag kommer komma fort.
How did I forget about this scene? Because you can clearly see that Felice is, you know, not into it. Was it like they're like, are you thinking about someone else or something like that? I think, maybe.
Blundar du?
Va? Nej.
Fan, du blundar ju. Fan. Tänker på någon annan?
Yeah.
Är det det? Nej. Jag bara händer så jävla mycket nu. Så att
It's just toxic, isn't it, really? I mean, yeah, she did kiss Wilhelm and whatnot. But she just misread the signals. And I know, like, after that she went to August and, you know, but he's just way too full on.
Wow. Har jag missat någonting eller? Så vi verkligen liksom ihop nu. Mm? Sen när började gilla honom på riktigt? Men vad Felice, för du vill höra? Men hallå, har ni legat eller?
Yes.
Was it royal?
I actually feel like Felice actually likes him. And like, when I was watching, I was like, you know what? I don't really think she likes him, like, a lot. I just feel like she's, you know, with him just because. Then I kind of feel like not bad on August. I mean, I feel like he was being used. Like, I feel like she liked him, but it wasn't like that deep for her compared to what maybe August felt.
Ska sälja dem där. Jag ger dig en chans att betala tillbaka. Du ska betala varenda krona du är skyldig mig. Men du kanske är lugn med att alla vet det.
vadå?
Att du är pank. Eller?
Like, I get this, like, Simon's not usually like this, but I kind of like this from Simon when I first saw it. I was like, you know what? You want your money. You're gonna do whatever it takes. You know, blackmail August. Do it. Because it's August, okay? And obviously Simon doesn't like doing that. But he was desperate, okay? So I was like, you know what? Simon, I'm gonna defend you regardless. I'm gonna defend you no matter what you do. I'm just gonna defend you, okay? You can do no wrong in my eyes. So it's just the way he looked at him, like.
Vi är ändå nationella så det kommer säkert gå åt. Visst. Jag gör det. Då håller du käften.
Okay, it's so funny though. But that's all Simon wanted was his money. That's literally it. Like, if you could just pay him back, then, you know, that's it over and done with. Anyways, so that is the end of my part 1 reaction to season 1, episode 4. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and /rewatch, like a rewatch. Make it clear. Reaction / rewatch. Okay. To check out part 2, there'll be a link down below, and I will see you guys over there. Bye guys.